Windows, it searches our RAG database for local codes, and then it returns a summary. Clear docstrings are vital. They guide the AI model in selecting the right tool. To perform RAG, we need to retrieve information from outside the agent. For this, I use the Model Context Protocol server from Google's MCP toolbox for databases, which we contributed to open source. And I deployed it to this endpoint here. The Analyze Building Codes function uses RAG to ground the agent's responses in data from our database. With this, we've defined a tool for our agent to accomplish its goal. Okay, since we're building an AI agent, we need an AI model from Vertex AI. ADK is model agnostic, so I could use models like Llama or Claude, but I'm using Gemini at 2.5. And the model is a key part of the agent, because the model handles the execution of the tools we defined, and it produces the output we are looking for. A proposal for pages remodel. In essence, building an agent in ADK boils down to just 3 things: instructions, tools, and a model. Okay, time to test the agent. Let's open the terminal. ADK comes with a dev UI for local development. You call it by running ADK web. Okay, open localhost. Let's select our agent. The dev UI handles multimodal inputs like images for us. So I'm uploading Pages ideas and her floor plan. Please create a proposal. We will integrate this UI with Gemini Code Assist and its supported IDEs later this year. Okay, gave us an answer. Wow, look at this. It created this whole professional PDF. What a massive time saver. Agent Dev Kit is public today. I want you all to build something with agents on Gemini that makes your life easier. Thanks so much.
Great job, Fran. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that was terrific. I love seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really wild to see how easily Fran could take some of the fun ideas from Paige and Logan's demo and make an enterprise-class agent from them.
I mean, it's not very hard to see how this could be useful for lots of other tasks and businesses, anything that requires just a lot of reasoning, no?
Oh, there's so many things we can build with agents, and they really unlock a whole new level of automation.
I thought Agent Development Kit looked pretty cool, right? You all like that? I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. A round of applause for Agent Development Kit. Was there anything unique, though, that you had to think about differently when building with it? I know you hit on those 3 things that make up an agent, but was there anything otherwise you had to think about?
I mean, at the heart, it's just code. Yeah. Prompt engineering is really important, so be really explicit with your doc strings and your instructions.
It's good advice for everybody. All right, thank you very much, Fran. Terrific job.
All right, Richard. Well, let's shift a little bit to talk about how developers are building even more with our products and frameworks, yeah?
Yeah. Let's talk about one of my personal favorites, or so I'm told, Vertex AI Agent Engine, which was recently made generally available.
It was. An Agent Engine makes it easy for you to deploy and run agents built on any agent framework. It simplifies the deployment process so that you can focus on your agent's code, and provides you enterprise-grade security controls, production-grade monitoring and logging, and even evaluation and quality frameworks. And Richard, what else do we have for agent discovery and sharing?
You want more? It's all agents.
Always.
To make life easier for devs, we actually have something pretty awesome called Agent Space. You've been hearing about that this week. It's our hub for agents across a company. As you saw in the demo and the main keynote yesterday, you can build these no-code agents directly in Agent Space. And you can register agents built with the Agent Development Kit and make them available here. That's good. We can also use this to share agents that are built by developers and can be surfaced to all the employees within their own company or to all companies that use Agent Space from the cloud marketplace. And some of the best part is that this supports third-party models and agents and provides a common surface for access control across all of your users.
Okay, my mic
So
is
you
down.
might have all heard about teams of agents working
Normally
together.
I do peanut
These
gallery
combination of
commentary.
agents are able to take on complex tasks with both high agency and high automation, as we're about to see next. So let's see some cool new things we have for building multi-agent systems in Vertex AI, managing agent systems at scale, and some of our newest tech to help with debugging and fixing our agent services. Let's make some noise and welcome to the stage Dr. Abhirami Sukumaran.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Richard. Hi, everybody. Complex processes require more than one agent. So we're going to create a system of multiple specialized agents and go through the process of deploying and debugging a multi-agent system. Now, we've already got the construction proposal agent that generates client proposals. Next, we'll add 2 more agents, one for permits and compliance and another for ordering and delivering materials, both built with Vertex AI using Agent Development Kit with Gemini. We'll need these 3 agents to work seamlessly together as a single agent that can handle the end-to-end process. Let's check out the code to see how we use ADK, that is Agent Development Kit, to build and orchestrate a multi-agent system. We start out by defining our root agent. So this can call one or more sub-agents based on the goal. First, we'll start with our instructions. This is very similar to how we do with a single agent. But since this is a multi-agent system, we'll give additional instructions that define how these additional sub-agents will be used and routed to, all in natural language, and define any additional instructions or dependencies that are required between these sub-agents right here. Next, we'll need to declare these agents as sub-agents. This is similar to how we declare tools. Here you see 3 sub-agents highlighted: proposal, permits, and ordering agent. All right, when my agent is ready, I can deploy it directly from ADK to Vertex AI Agent Engine. It is a fully managed agent runtime that supports many agent frameworks, including ADK. Here we have the code snippet that allows me to deploy my multi-agent system to run on Agent Engine. Once I execute this, in a few minutes, our agent will be deployed and available to call and share across apps and users. The call to create returns an endpoint which looks something like this. Perfect. Now that our agent is deployed and running, let's test it out in a place where I want to make it available to other users, which is, you heard it, Agent Space. Here I am at the Agent Space console, where we can see all of the agents available to me in the left pane right here. I'm going to go to Renovation Agent, which I just deployed. So to start off, let me start uploading the proposal document that was generated in the previous demo, and I'll start interacting with the multi-agent system. I'll ask it to kick off permits process. The renovation agent will route our request to the right sub-agent based on the instructions we have specified. Great, it's already created a checklist of permits. Now, let's say I want to ask it something related to ordering. I'll ask it to check order status for some of the materials that I've previously ordered. This should call, oh snap. All right. Looks like my renovation agent has a bug in it. Well, since I've deployed my multi-agent system to Agent Engine, and since it uses tools from this Google Cloud project, I'm going to go to cloud logging to see if I have any information that helps me debug. Let's go over to cloud logging. Logs Explorer, there it is. Yeah, that is why I have a bunch of red. All right, that's a long wall of exception text. I see investigate. I click that and create investigation. This is a new feature in Cloud Assist called Cloud Investigations, which helps diagnose problems with infrastructure and even issues in your code. Once the investigation is complete, I'll click View Investigation, and the report is open. I have 7 relevant observations in the report and a hypothesis section. Let's see what the observations are. All right, it has identified that a PostgreSQL column not found, and that's status. And it's also identified the column name, that is status. And also, it takes me to the source code to debug it. And it has a direct link to make a Gemini-suggested code edit and make the fix. I can navigate over. So in the hypothesis section, I also have the overview of the problem. I have recommended fixes along with a direct link to Gemini-suggested code edit, which will directly allow me to make the fix. Let's navigate over. Here we are. As you can see right here, it has the comparison and a side-by-side view of the current buggy version of the code, which has the wrong column referenced. And on the right-hand side, I have the fix to it, that is Gemini suggested edit. And the right column that I was supposed to reference was order_status. I have incorrectly referenced it as status. I like the fix. I'm going to accept code suggestion and save and redeploy. All right, in about a couple of minutes, it'll be deployed. How cool is it that I saved so much of my debugging time with Cloud Investigations? Now that I fixed our error, once it's deployed in about a minute, I could go and retest the agent and share it out to users without having to make any change in the multi-agent system itself. So, building, sharing, and even debugging complex agent systems got so easy with Agent Development Kit, Vertex AI, and Agent Space, along with Cloud Assist investigations, right? So excited to see what you'll all build. Thank you.
That was amazing. Tech influencers are just like us. Their code doesn't work either. That's amazing.
I mean,
Great job,
it's
Abhi.
easy to see how the scale and number of agents can really grow, right? Bringing together agents seems like it could be kind of complex, but you actually made it look pretty easy.
Did.
So what did you learn using Agent Development Kit that can help all devs build multi-agent systems?
Right. I personally have 3 key takeaways from building this multi-agent system with Vertex AI. First, it's important to have a proper understanding and reasoning for the specialization of each of the sub-agents. Second, do you know, like, what is the root agent? How are you going to connect and route between these and make sense of all the responses and gather the results? And finally, I learned I could do multiple types of agent routing, handle context, state, and do a lot more with Agent Development Kit, especially when I have to do complex flow control.
Well, you absolutely had a great example, Abhi, of local agents working together.
Yeah, it was great. And to make it easier to connect any agents together, we actually just launched that agent-to-agent protocol. Just like MCP standardizes how agents connect to and use tools, A2A makes it easier to discover and connect agents, especially when those agents are from different ecosystems or vendors. It's all open source. We're building this with over 50 other companies, so you can build agents on any of those platforms, and those agents can communicate and collaborate to help you achieve the goal.
That's really cool. I showed how we can have a bunch of agents built on Vertex AI work together to accomplish a goal, but in the future, I know we'll want to use agents that are built with different frameworks and different vendors, and I'm really thrilled and excited that Google is actually working with so many others to create a standard for exactly that.
Yeah. Now, I know we're obsessed with agents, but you did sneak something in there about cloud investigations. And why do the developers in this room actually care about this? What does this really help us do?
It's hard enough to build systems that orchestrate complex agents and services. Developers shouldn't have to sit around debugging and all these multiple dependencies, getting to the logs, going through the code. And all of this can take a lot of time and resources that developers typically don't have. So that's where Cloud Investigations can save the day. It helps identify and fix code across the services of a multi-agent system so we can quickly get an app back up and running.
All right, well, everyone give it up for Abhi.
Thank you.
Amazing. so great. So far we've shown you lots of ways to just build things with Google and AI, but we also do love the ecosystem. And devs love using what's new and exciting, and frankly, what's the most useful for a specific job. It's the nature of how we build modern software. Gemini is actually so powerful in Google Cloud and our tools, but next we're going to show you how to take advantage of Gemini from your other favorite IDEs and tools.
All right, wait, hold on, Richard.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the other way we're enabling developer choice.
What else did I forget?
Vertex AI Model Garden, hello.
Go into the shed, that's terrible.
It's enabled over 200 models to date to be deployable for developers worldwide. You can choose what models work best for each task.
Got it. With that, let us see how building with Google AI gives you unprecedented choice in both IDEs and the models. Please welcome Debbie Cabrera to the stage.
Thanks, Richard. How's everybody doing? Can I get a woo? Wow.
Woo.
Okay, that was great. You know what else is great? Google is empowering developers to use the tools and models that you like best to build amazing apps. First, we'll showcase how you can use Gemini in your IDE of choice, and then how you can bring your model of choice to Google Cloud for your apps. Let's start with our IDE experiences and pretend that we're building a new service that'll be used for our agents to help with budgets. We'll use 3 popular IDEs that are enabled to use Gemini. First up, have you heard of vibe coding? People are doing a lot of it and more with Windsurf, a new and popular IDE with a streamlined experience that focuses on agentic coding. Here, we can chat with Gemini 2.5 Pro to start creating code powered by AI. You can ask something like, build me a Java microservice app with sample services for budgeting. The model will then iterate with you a lot over multiple steps. It might prompt you for commands to run in the terminal and even create some files on your behalf. It's really simple to go from 0 to template and continue building from there in Windsurf. Looks like I'll go to my backup machine because Gemini got a little tired over here. I want to show you what it built. To get there, I'm going to take the escalator. And I'll take the elevator up. Okay. Looks like it had a little bit more energy on this side. There you go. You can see how great it is. Okay, now let's hop over to Cursor to see how you can start making some specific services using Gemini as the model of choice for coding. Cursor excels in code-based analysis and reasoning. So, keeping with our budgets example, there's a lot of code here, but this is just a budget controller Java file with an existing controller. Let's say we'd like to add some input validation, so we know that everything looks good before we go ahead and process it. Using Cursor's inline option, with Gemini as the selected model, we can ask to add input validation and hit submit. And there we go. You can see the highlighted text that was automatically generated by Gemini. Looks like it's added a few lines in case there's a bad request. And all of this is done right within the existing file, recognizing any differences needed and even adding changes based on the type of entity that you need the validation for. Now, since we're already working in Java, let's see what we can do in IntelliJ and the JetBrains family of IDEs. In IntelliJ, we're connected to Gemini via GitHub Copilot. We're using the same code base. I have my code on the left, and on the right, I've given Copilot some context for different files for my budget controllers. We can go ahead and ask in the chat to add unit tests. And I speak Spanish, so I'm actually going to ask in Spanish. Agrega pruebas unitarias. Let's see. Oh, give it a second. Oh, muy bien, Gemini.
Wow.
Okay, looks like it's proposed a new file and maybe some modifications to a current file I have. And once this is completed, I can choose what I would like to accept and input into my code. And the most exciting part is that all of these IDEs now support the Gemini 2.5 family of models out of the box. And these are just 3 tools: Windsurf, Cursor, and IntelliJ and Copilot. But we're enabling devs to use Gemini wherever it suits you best, even in tools like Visual Studio Code, Tab 9, Cognition, and Aider. Okay, now let's talk about running models. Now, my favorite model is Gemini, of course. Yours too, right? Right? Yeah. But there are so many great models out there, and some are particularly well suited for specific tasks or use cases. So, behold, Vertex AI's Model Garden. You can connect to some of the most popular models or even bring your own from registries like Hugging Face. Model Garden supports the latest and greatest models across creators, including Llama, Gemma 3, Anthropic, and Mistral. So let's check out the Llama 3.3 model from Meta. It's offered as a service via Model Garden. Here, we can test the model to see what the response looks like by asking something like, what capabilities can you offer for designing renovation budgets? And there we go, there are the results. We can also use the results we get and compare with other models that we may be considering. And we can do this without having to spin up our own infrastructure or pre-allocate expensive GPUs. Or, if you decide to deploy this, you can deploy to your own endpoint or cluster. So, let's implement a model from Model Garden in our application code. Here, we're in Visual Studio Code. And in this example, we've been using Claude, and it's great. But our apps run on Google Cloud, and the model's running somewhere else. We want to run our model co-located with our app to minimize latency and get the benefit of a simpler security surface. So, with 2 small code changes, we can use the same Claude 3.7 model from Model Garden. We'll use Anthropic's library, and all we need to do is change how we initialize the model. Here we have the project ID and region instead of API key, and then change the model's actual name. And that's it. Then we're done, and we're set up to use the Model Garden version instead. And we can use other models via the Vertex AI SDK to do something similar. We're striving to meet developers where you are. Your team can build great apps using Gemini as your IDE of choice, or you can use Vertex AI Model Garden to call your model of choice. No matter what you use, we're excited to see what you come up with. Gracias.
That was pretty great. Those demos were muy caliente. I don't speak Spanish.
I think we can talk.
That's something. Give it up for Debbie. That was great. Yeah. Wild stuff. 2 things are true of developers. We are very particular about our tools, but we're also excited to try new things. I'm excited by the fact that we've taken such an open approach here, and you can use Gemini from so many different tools so developers can keep working in the tools that they love.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, Richard, but personally, I've been playing around with Cursor, and it's great. But I love that we're making Gemini available for devs wherever they are, and for getting access to the latest models in Vertex AI Model Garden.
Yeah, and I'm excited to share our latest Gemini model, 2.5 Pro, is now available in Gemini Code Assist for individuals. You can use it right now. Not right now, wait till after. But we've brought even more Gemini to our own developer surfaces. Android Studio now is supported with Gemini Code Assist. It's in preview. This adds Android-specific AI capabilities to Gemini Code Assist. And Gemini in Firebase provides complete AI assistance in the brand new Firebase Studio.
So we know AI is transforming the way that we build software, but the impact of AI extends far beyond the lines of code.
That's right. It is changing how we experience the world around us, like playing or even watching your favorite sport. For me, that is Major League Baseball. Go Padres.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you're saying that AI can finally teach you how to throw a knuckleball?
I'm hopeless, 0% chance. Nothing can help me. But it can revolutionize the way that fans analyze player performance. And the very best part, anyone who is passionate enough to change the game with AI can do that with Google Cloud.
Well, that's why we partner with MLB, who's using Google Cloud to process 25 million data points per game to compute previously inconceivable stats. Using Gemini and Vertex AI, MLB can compare live plays with its massive StatCast dataset in real time and find fresh insights. We wanted to see what the community could build with this data and our AI. So together, we created the Google Cloud MLB Hackathon.
Yeah, we had tons of submissions, but we were thrilled to introduce the grand prize winner here on stage, who will show you how he used Gemini and Vertex AI to actually analyze baseball pitcher performance. So everyone give a really warm welcome to our winner, Jake DiBattista.
Hey everyone, I've always been impressed by how good MLB's motion capture and analytics are. It seems like every detail of every play can now be measured using high-speed cameras. But not everyone has access to that. See, back in college, I was a shot putter, and I used to spend hours watching videos of myself throwing and searching for errors in my technique. There had to be a better way to analyze a throw without the need for high-speed cameras to capture biomechanical data. So I built a fully customizable prompt generator for analyzing a pitch. It only took me 1 week to create this using Gemini API and Google Cloud. Let me show you how I did it. Since every pitcher has different preferences and skill levels, Gemini would need to be able to adapt its analysis depending on the pitch. Let's start with an experienced pitcher with lots of historical data. I'll analyze a video of one of the greatest left-handed baseball pitchers of all time, Clayton Kershaw. I'll analyze his pitching mechanics to take a look at the last pitch he threw in the 7th inning of a near-perfect game. This will show how far off his ideal performance he was at that point in the game. Cool. So we start by pre-processing the video using OpenCV, a computer vision library, and then storing it in Google Cloud. From there, selections are made such as pitch type and game state to pull in MLB data, including Kershaw's profile, into our prompt. Each selection here helps to generate a unique set of system instructions and prompt details tailored to the pitch being analyzed. Finally, this is all sent to the Gemini API. The model indicates Kershaw was throwing his signature curveball with nearly no deviation from his ideal. But this isn't just for the pros. This is a tool for all of us. That's why I added an amateur mode, which uses parameters for less experienced players. Our co-host Richard loves baseball and threw a pitch a few weeks ago. Let's see how he did.
I'm scared.
Are you sure you want to show this to thousands of people, Richard?
No, not at all.
All right, lining up. And,
It's not that bad.
well, you're no Kershaw. I've already generated the results in another tab. Let's go over there and see how he did.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
The major leagues for you, Richard. I don't know.
I'm better at this job.
I think.
Yeah, maybe don't quit your day job.
Hey,
So you have some potential. But look at what it says. He has to tighten up his arm a little bit and add some leg drive to maximize his power. Here, Gemini uses a different prompting framework for less skilled pitchers. After a little prompt engineering on my end, it's able to quickly adapt from a professional model like Kershaw to an amateur like Richard in a single click, altering the grading rubric accordingly. And what's cool about Gemini is with simple prompts, it can process multiple frames simultaneously, allowing me to analyze the entire motion, not just individual snapshots, giving a much richer understanding of how each part of the pitch contributes to the final outcome. This essentially worked out of the box, meaning I didn't need to implement a custom model or build overly complex data sets. As an athlete and front-end developer, I was shocked that I could build a computer vision application using Gemini by myself in just 1 week. This was built with pitching prospects in mind, so coaches and athletes at any level could help players without the need for high-resolution cameras. Now, it's possible for anyone to have a personalized coach right in their pocket. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, give it up for Jake. Congrats again on your hackathon win. We had a ton of submissions. That stood out. If I knew he was going to talk like that, he wouldn't have won. Stephanie, what is the takeaway other than I probably need to work a little bit on my pitching performance?
I'm glad you got that out of it. Could you have imagined, though, using generative AI for this type of analysis a few years ago?
Yes.
I love that this is valuable anywhere that visually analyzing a process makes sense.
I mean, you think about quality control in manufacturing, process optimization on some large production line, even troubleshooting parts inside a generator. That's amazing capabilities there.
Yeah, so the list is pretty endless.
Yeah.
And this is something that you just couldn't do well at scale before AI.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about sports and AI use cases. It's a problem. But even within Google, we have that AI basketball coach right here at Next. Have you tried that?
Well, I tried it yesterday.
Here we go.
Where it actually coached me on elbow position, height, and knee bend. So basically everything.
You're roasting my pitching when that's what we're looking at.
But, okay,
Come
fine.
on,
I deserve
goodness
that. I deserve that.
gracious. The recent work we did with our CEO Jeremy Bloom and his team at the Winter X Games to build an AI commentator and score analyzer. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. So that work added another dimension to what Jake talked about, which is essentially that Gemini can see and help make sense of information that isn't immediately apparent to the human eye. In just 8 weeks, a small team of cloud developers built an AI commentator that could add an entirely new element to the fan experience for men's Superpipe. AI scoring and analysis for the first time ever during a live action sports event.
That's so cool, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Gemini accurately predicted the top 3 winners based on just analyzing their practice runs.
Yeah, exactly right.
Wow.
And X Games is super interested in this idea of AI as an unbiasing mechanism, pairing AI insights with human expertise to help remove bias from competitions.
These things can watch longer than we can. We might miss something for a second, but the AI doesn't, which is great.
Yeah, it's true. I also love this idea that Jake touched on, of AI as a coach. Like, how can you use vast amounts of nuanced data to improve performance? I feel like we're gonna see a lot of momentum in this space next year.
No doubt. It's great that AI is making things faster, less expensive, but I'm actually really excited about the ability to do entirely new things that weren't possible before. Where is this all going? What should we all be preparing for? So far, we've seen what's next. What's after next?
Well, let's take a look at 2 areas where our industry is changing even further. We're giving you interfaces that are more powerful, responsible agents that are more helpful, and a cloud platform that helps you orchestrate it all.
Nowhere else you get all that. Yep, AI is showing in more places, not just your IDE and notebook, right? Think of agents as teammates that partner with us in all of the different places that we work.
We'll show you how an agent powered by Google AI partners with you to do deep data analysis using BigQuery, Vertex AI, and Colab. This will make getting insights and answers from your enterprise data dramatically easier and will make you a hero to your business stakeholders.
Love
so
that.
please give it up for Jeff Nelson.
Here we go, Jeff.
Thank you, Stephanie. Who else here loves data? All right. Me too. I've worked with data for over a decade and know firsthand just how hard it is to turn that raw data into something useful. Today, I'll show how our new data science agent helps us turn that raw data into a data app. This app will help sales managers access personalized forecasts at our construction company. I'll start in a BigQuery notebook that's powered by Colab to build our forecast. To do so, I'm going to check out my product sales table with a little bit of SQL code that I pasted in from the clipboard. We can see the table here, and if you'll notice, there's a DF beside the input. DF stands for data frame, and that's BigQuery loading its results into a Python data frame. Python allows us to use libraries like big frames to execute my code over tables of any size. So I'll use it to paste in a little bit more Python to drop a few columns we don't need for our analysis. And I'll write one more cell to aggregate total sales by fields like order date and customer state. And this just helps give us some metrics for the rest of our forecast. This tabular view here is great, but seeing the data is even better. So when I switch over to the chart view, I can start to spot interesting patterns or potential issues before going deeper. Next, I'll use this data to forecast sales with the Gemini data science agent that's built into this notebook. All I need to do is click Ask Agent, and I'll input a prompt to generate a sales forecast from our input table. From here on out, all code is generated and executed by the Gemini data science agent. This is a collaborative process, so the data science agent acts kind of like my peer. We can go back and forth in simple natural language in this chat box, and you'll also notice that the agent uses Spark for feature engineering. This is only possible because of our new serverless Spark engine in BigQuery. So switching between SQL, Spark, and Python is now easy and allows developers like you and me to use the right tool for the job. That's something I think we could all get used to. So here the Spark code reads from our input table, applies some light transformations, and writes to a transform table. Next, to build the forecast, our agent uses a new Google Foundation model called TimesFM. It's meant for forecasting, and it's accessible directly in BigQuery. Unlike traditional models, this one's pre-trained on massive time series data sets, so I can get forecasts simply by inputting my data. Let's take a quick look at the output. I'll exit out of the data science agent, and we can see for every product ID and date combination, we now have a forecasted value as well as lower and upper bounds for a 95% confidence interval. But our chart view helps us see this even better. And this is the kind of thing I want to share with my sales managers. But for that, I'm going to need a data app so that all of my assets are packaged up and easily shareable. But here's a secret. I don't really like building apps. So watch this. Right within this notebook, I can click Create Data App, select the cells I'm interested in publishing. In this case, it'll just be the visualization. I can click Next, and I'll leave the default inputs here. When I click Create, BigQuery packages everything up and gives me a link that's external. That means this forecast is now a data app that's accessible to everyone. So sales managers can now directly access this app. They can input their own parameters and get personalized forecasts without needing to know any data science at all. Now that's powerful. So I'm psyched about this too. So we easily transformed raw data into a fully deployed forecasting data app, made possible by this data science agent. But wait, there's more. We're also launching specialized agents for data engineers, data analysts, and business users in preview. And the data science agent you just saw integrated in BigQuery notebooks is coming soon. You can also get started in Colab today. So scan the QR code on the screen and start building. I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you.
I'm assuming that's just like
That was amazing. Did you hear him say he does not like building apps? Congratulate Jeff on his first and last time on the main stage keynote. Congratulations. What's going on there? But that was a ton to see in a short amount of time. That was super duper impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I know the data science agent is really taking off based on the reaction here. It's true. Right. And I'm excited to see our next set of agents for data launching this year.
Yeah, I like this concept of agents as teammates. It's not just about using a single call to a model and that's it. It's more than that. As devs, we're more empowered with agents to do ongoing and complex analyses with all of our data.
Yeah, well, Richard, what else do we have for everyone today?
We got one more big demo. We want to give you a sneak peek into what we really see as the future of software development. We've got some amazing features coming later this year that will make building software so much faster and easier by using a software engineering agent. What else? To further boost productivity. To show us how all this works, get excited for my friend Scott Densmore.
Hey everyone, I want to walk you through an early view of how you'll build software using agents designed specifically to help developers. This functionality is coming to you later this year. Gemini Code Assist provides an extra pair of coding hands to help you create applications and remove repetitive and mundane tasks so you can focus on the fun stuff. This is the Gemini Code Assist Kanban board. We're moving beyond editors to a new way to develop software with agents. The Kanban board will let you orchestrate agents to help you in all aspects of the software development lifecycle. It includes something we're calling a backpack that holds all your engineering context, style guides, security policies, formatting preferences, even your previous feedback. So Code Assist can be a more effective coding partner. All right, let's start here. We've got a technical design doc for a Java migration, a task I think we'd all like to hand off. So we'll make a comment and assign the migration to Code Assist directly from our Google Doc. When it has questions, those will get added to the comment thread, or we can respond directly. This new task will show up on the Kanban board so we can keep track of its progress. Google Docs isn't the only place you might want to start a new engineering task. We can ask Code Assist, or send to Code Assist, a message asking it to fix this continuous integration build failure directly from our team chat room. Or you could assign it a bug directly from your bug tracker. In fact, why even assign bugs manually when we can just ask Code Assist to do it? It can keep an eye on our repo to perform bug triage, do root cause analysis, and fix issues automatically. We can ask it to do code reviews on all incoming pull requests, leaving great actionable feedback. Much better than I get from Richard. Nobody puts baby in a backpack.
Out of here.
And of course, you'll see all those assigned tasks, bugs, and each new issue as they arrive right in the Kanban board. While we're here, let's start a new project. We'll take a product requirement document for an earthquake monitoring web app and ask Code Assist to produce a prototype. Okay, that looks good. We're going to fast forward through this a bit, and then we're going to preview that web app right from within the Kanban board. You can see how this now becomes our new development loop. I can tell Code Assist the changes I want and let it take another pass and repeat that until I'm happy with what I see. Or I could decide I want to just dive into the code right in my IDE. So you know, it's been a few weeks since I started this project. I think Richard been doing some check-ins, and he likes to do a lot of talking, but not a lot of coding or playing baseball. So let's see what he's done. Oh, Richard. Of course, he left me some to-dos. So I'm going to hand this off to Code Assist, and then I'm going to look into his code access.
Oh, don't do me like that.
Oh, you just wait. I think that was a build failure. It was you earlier, wasn't it? Probably. All right. So designed to tackle all kinds of developer tasks, Code Assist and Kanban board will extend your reach and allow you to do more as a developer and turn even more of your ideas into reality. I invite all of you to check out the App Dev Spotlight right after the keynote, where Ryan J. Saab will show you some of these great new features in much more detail and tell you how to sign up for the preview. Thank you.
There you go. Give it up for my former friend Scott. That's
It's like, do I need to get in between you two?
gosh, so rough.
Well, that really felt like the future of software development, right?
Amazing.
I love the idea that it will let me spend the vast majority of my development time focused on solving interesting and important problems and less time on the boring stuff like writing tests and CRUD code.
You're doing a lot of CRUD code right now?
There won't be.
Yeah. I mean, building a prototype or MVP like we're showing here is definitely a bit different from adding new functionality for an enterprise with a big, massive, complex code base. But what this shows is that AI can write good code for everyone and interact with all of us on whatever surfaces we work with. I'm excited about that. I think orchestrating agents is a big part of the future of software development. And we just showed a fresh development loop here for small, large enterprises alike, where AI works with the developer to build the right things and then build it right.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to build with my own fleet of agents.
You cannot wait to build a fleet of agents.
It's a fleet.
All right.
And I know we have one last thing to share. What is up next, Richard?
Agent fleets? No.
Oh, good guess.
No, even before Next, there has been a lot of buzz about VO2. We saw some stuff here as well. It's a really cool model. There is so much excitement out there for what's possible.
Yeah, that's right. And we love seeing what you all have been making so far with VO. From short films to magical animated scenes and so much more. I personally really love the things that aren't possible outside of animation or special effects. I mean, so much of what I've seen is just so fun and whimsical.
That would be our band name.
It should be.
Yeah. All of that is available today on Vertex AI, which is amazing. You can build with this, but we wanted to give you one more peek behind the curtain at what's achievable when Google Cloud and Google DeepMind team up with partners to stretch the boundaries of what's possible in entertainment when you use this same technology. The Sphere just announced that it will be presenting a fully immersive experience of the 1939 film, The Wizard of Oz. Let's take a look.
What we're doing with The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere is make you feel like you're there.
The process of getting this immersive experience off the ground has 10,000 moving parts. How could we adapt that 4x3 image, and how could we spread that on the media plane and take you to another world?
We had to figure out super resolution, outpainting, and performance.
Google was the only company that was actually capable of doing this.
We actually had to add in and restore more detail than existed in the original film. The second problem is we needed to complete the characters that were cut off outside the field of view of the original cinema production. The third problem is, with a much wider field of view, we could see characters that should be there but were never captured on camera. And so we needed to generate those performances completely. We needed to use AI to train on all of the material in the original movie to effectively reconstruct a memory. Then we could transport the audience back into that memory of the original movie and reproduce that experience in the Sphere.
The key for us in all that we're doing with AI is to maintain the integrity of the original filmmaker's intent. It's part of our cultural history. You can't just take it and do anything with it.
That challenge led us to a series of guiding principles that became one of the most complex productions I think I've ever seen or heard of.
So I know which shot I need to upscale. So I come to this program that I've written, right? So this program launches a pipeline on Google Cloud infrastructure. And what it does is it takes low resolution input and produces high resolution output. Now I've run this exact shot through our SR model, and this is what we get. So to get to this stage, we had to push the boundaries of the technology that was available.
VO is one of our well-defined video models.
VO is one of the biggest super resolution breakthroughs. Yeah, how does VO work? Okay, say you zoom in on a video and you take a patch of it and you train a model that learns, here's that image in high resolution, and then it learns how to take a small, low quality, low res version of that and give you a beautiful high res video.
A new technology and a new tool enables a new story to be told in a new way. We went from an era of models and miniatures and special effects, and now we're entering a new era where teams of artists are working with AI to follow in the footsteps of filmmakers for the last 100 years.
Hell yeah. I'm super stoked for this.
Wow.
Really cool, right? Every
Amazing.
time I get chills.
Yeah.
And I really think it's only the beginning. And I can't wait to see what other entertainment projects are possible with this technology and what our customers will do with VO2.
I really love that we showed so much that you can do today, not futures, right now. Use AI Studio to experiment with the latest Gemini models, including those that have that advanced reasoning we talked about. Develop agents that change how you work with the Agent Development Kit and run agents at scale with Vertex AI.
And combine multiple agents working together into a single application or service to do work for you. Use Gemini in your favorite IDE or bring your favorite model from Vertex AI Model Garden.
And in the very near future, you will use agents to help you dive into your data without needing to be an expert in Spark or other big data frameworks. Software development agents will handle the toilsome dev work for you so we can focus on the fun, complex engineering problems. Look, if you work with Google Cloud, in some ways, you're already working in the future.
Well, that was all amazing, but I personally loved Jake's baseball demo.
Me too.
Gemini makes computer vision so easy and accessible, which made me realize that I can use Gemini to improve in so many things. For one, basketball.
Baseball.
Learning guitar, even my cooking skills. See our latest demos, try the products talked about on stage, and get your questions answered by technical experts in the Google Cloud Showcase in the heart of the main keynote expo hall.
Amazing, and that is the show. I am really excited to see what you all build next with Gemini and Google Cloud. Let's get out there and start building. Thank you.
Okay, I guess that's it. We'll just fucking kill it there. Not super impressive so far, I don't think. It's nice that they packaged it all up, but like none of it's new. And as far as I can tell, because I was going through the console earlier, and most of it's for enterprise, so like all of that agent, what's the fucking thing called? Agent engine, conversational agents, blah 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 blah. All of that is enterprise only, and I think it's like $200 a month. So it does not seem super worth for your random Joe Schmo, but I think it is cool that they're gonna put all of it in a nice tidy spot, and then in theory the edge that they get out of this is, so they didn't mention it, they still I don't know if they mentioned it yesterday or what, but as far as I know they've still barely talked about it, but PyTorch runs on TPUs now. That's the big deal. That's the thing. And they have a new 7th gen TPU coming out. I guess for people who are a little less nerdy, Google has things called TPUs. They're the only people that have them. And they run models very well. The problem with TPUs is they're very, very good at doing parallel stuff, but they need you to write everything in parallel too. So TPUs generally are best worked with in a package library. I always forget, with a library called JAX, which once you get the hang of it, it's good, but most of the model work that happens these days is with a different library package thing called PyTorch. That's the one everybody uses. That's the one all the accelerators are written for. You know, that's the one that plays nice with CUDA, although it's also doesn't do that because it's a fucking nightmare. But the thing is, so like, if you want to get the benefit out of TPUs, you need to go learn JAX, which not everybody wants to do because the only thing that you do with it is rewrite models to run on TPUs better. As far as I know, at least. I'm not a JAX guy. So the fact that they can still use their optimized backend, because TPUs are like just to quantify the difference, a GPU, like a graphics card, graphical processing unit, right? TPU, tensor processing unit. It's a card that's built specifically to run AI models, whereas most of the AI models right now get ran on just like giant GPUs, which are not like purpose built to do that, but they're very good at it anyway because it's basically the same thing. So this potentially unlocks like a meaningful competitor to NVIDIA for one, and then what it should do is drive down the cost of every model, because now rather than this model costs this amount to train and use because I need this many GPUs and I have to buy them all from NVIDIA, now it should be for each model it costs whichever is lower, running it on a TPU that you rented from Google or running it on GPUs that you bought from NVIDIA. So those things actually competing with each other now is good news for us, the consumer. Lord knows we're going to need it. But, so, to me, That's the significant thing so far. I get that, agent gardens and frickin' pitch prediction or whatever is like exciting to people who aren't like giant nerds about agents and AI and all that crap. And it's much flashier, but it's not the thing that actually matters about what they released in this event so far. That's my read, at least. There's also this like, I don't know, I think I need to go watch the keynotes from yesterday, because when I was reading the little blog post, they keep talking about this AI hypercomputer thing, and I was looking for it on the console, and I like kind of found it. And so the things that are actually interesting about Cloud Next, I'm gonna see if there's anybody actually listening to this, or if I like missed any chats, or if I'm just talking to myself. It's certainly a possibility. Let's see. Do I have a viewer? Oh, I had 12 on X. I don't know if any of them are still here. Can I like check? I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just yap at myself for a little bit. So the things that I want to explore more from Next is whatever the fuck an AI hypercomputer is. As far as I could see, it's just that they are like, hey, we have this like whole stack of technologies, and if you put them all together, we're just going to call them an AI hypercomputer, because all of them are kind of like TPUs where they're sort of purpose built to do AI stuff. So like we have a whole stack of that now, which is cool. But that's also just like you renaming like 8 different things that you sell into a new thing. So potentially either that or there's some like actual innovation there. Although the interesting thing that the AI hypercomputer has is the, what did they fucking call it? It's like the orchestration agent or something. And it reminds me a lot of a vendor that I used to work with, who had tech that I was a huge fan of, because it made stuff like so easy. And this thing is supposed to do kind of the same thing, where if I am a person and I need to run models, usually I'm going to need to put them in things called containers. And containers are basically like invisible little pretend computers that you sort of, you make your container, and then you make your container so it's set up to do only one thing and no other things. And sort of the way you use the container is like you open the container when you need it, and you throw it in garbage when you're done. And the only thing that little computer has on it is just the thing you need. So there's not any other like programs or like, weird Apple permissions or whatever that you have to deal with. It's like this little computer is only this thing, so it should work the same way everywhere you put it, right? But when you have a lot of those, because you need to provide, for instance, a lot of AI models to a lot of customers, having one of those is great. Having, needing somewhere between like 50 and 300,000 of those up at any given time, and not being able to accurately like predict that, makes the use of those containers really complicated, because you have to make sure they're all talking nice to each other, and new ones are getting spun up when they're supposed to, yada yada yada. And the thing that you have to do is make sure that for each model that is living in one of those containers, every container on the machine where those containers are getting spun up, so like the actual computer that these like invisible little fake computers are starting on, you need to make sure that you have enough GPU horsepower on that instance that the little containers live on, so that you can provide enough GPU horsepower to run potentially all the models that you might need to run on that machine. So that's where it gets complicated, because you have to make sure, okay, well, if I need one container here, I can get away with like a small GPU, so that'll save me money. But I might need like 20 containers here, so I should probably buy like a really big GPU, but then I'm like not using it all the time, so I kind of need to figure out how to scale that up and down kind of on demand. And then like, oh, one department needs these containers, one department needs these ones, and you can see how that could get like into a giant nightmare very quickly. Well, spoiler alert, it does. And the way that you fix it is with something called Kubernetes, which is a thing that Google invented. And what Kubernetes does is it orchestrates those containers and kind of like, you know, gives you the bird's eye view of what's running where, and sort of you can set those permissions rules up, and et cetera, et cetera. The problem with Kubernetes is it's really fucking hard so to learn and make sense of. So the interesting thing about the orchestration agent for the quote-unquote AI hypercomputer, whatever exactly that is, as far as I can tell, it means you don't have to learn Kubernetes, because what it does is it takes all of the GPU horsepower that you have rented or that you might need and just treats it all as one big blob of GPU stuff. So if orchestration agent, or what orchestration agent claims to be able to do is just, if you say, hey, like I need to be able to handle this much traffic, what it's going to do is just watch what it sort of sees as a giant blob of GPUs and just throw out containers onto them whenever you need them, in a way where you don't have to do any of the weird Kubernetes stuff, and you don't have to do like weird permissions or install different things on different machines or whatever, because the agent is treating all of the machines that you might rent as just one big machine, and it can do that because they're all going to be TPUs because they're all running on Google. So the two things that are actually important about Google Cloud Next this year, by my estimation, is you don't have to use JAX if you don't want to, and you don't have to use Kubernetes if you don't want to, which is, I guess, only exciting for giant nerdy nerds and cloud people. But for those nerdy nerds, it is way more exciting than like stuff we've already had for a year and a half in open source, but with like a pretty Google background on it, because none of this is new, with the exception of, but I think they already had it in AI Studio, of the like, and I kind of want to dig into it and pick it apart. Like maybe we'll do, I've been overdue to come back anyway, so we might do like a little cookout coding jam hackathon thing on gcloud in the somewhat near future, because what I want to do is kind of put these multimodal models through the paces, because they are making some strong claims about, oh, it's going to be able to understand like the emotions of the audio with the customer that it's talking to. It's going to have like no latency, and it's going to be able to combine reasoning about that with like a feed of video and stuff like that. Like the sort of the magic sci-fi agent like the Star Trek computer version that you just like throw stuff at it and it can handle all of it, is sort of the claim that's being like pushed here, and I don't really quite buy it. So I wanna put it through the paces more. But maybe they've kind of got it all figured out by now. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, that's my current estimation of Google Cloud Next is A2A is a meme. Nobody wants it. Nobody asked for it. The agent builder things are like cute, and that'll be good for like Karen in marketing to be able to just like spin up her own agent instead of having to ask me, which is nice. But the things that actually matter are things that actually matter a lot. But they didn't bother talking about them because they're only for like dumb nerd cloud people. So I guess we'll see. I don't know how many more days of this, but I will probably try and, give Google an honest shot here, as to if they can do anything exciting. And I definitely want to play. I was just looking through the Cloud Console again, and they have like a media studio section now, which that is definitely something I want to check out more. Because lately I've been needing to do stuff like generate assets and generate video and stuff like that. So maybe we'll play with that too. Okay, yeah, we're gonna end the stream there. Thank you for giving me like, comment, subscribe interaction and validation for my worth as a human. If you are, because I'm purposely not looking at how many people are in chat, if there are any, because that'll make me feel bad. But till tomorrow, I guess. Okay, GG, bye.